All right, let's dig into the stock market technical analysis and trade ideas. We're going to go ahead and look at tech sector, Nvidia, obviously. I've got some individual trade ideas, and then I will wrap up. Drop me a thumbs up if you're interested in getting additional insights, additional charts, trade ideas, all that. $5 a month, private member group, link in the description below. Cancel whenever you want. Check it out. Okay, triple Qs. Since Nvidia is already out of the way, we are really, you got to look at it on the hourly chart. The hourly, we've got some support right here at 5, 10, 30. All right, and if I roll out, that's kind of like a level. We've had lots of reactions on that level, and then resistance is just overhead at 519.30. So those are the levels I've been trading really for the last couple days, actively trading. And you can see today, they've basically held every single candle, hourly candle has held support at that 5:10:30. Blow it a little bit right now, but we haven't closed yet. So a close below that level on the hourly will likely bring in more selling, and we should flush down to the next level of support, which is about 500. All right, so if I go to the daily chart, you'll see here that on the daily, that is the former reaction low right there. Okay, so that would be the next level of support. The 200 days not too much farther below, so I really feel like if we get close to that low level, we're probably going to dip down and hit that 200. So that's kind of my gut feeling. So we'll just watch these levels again. At first we start with the hourly close, and then we work our way down to lower levels, and we'll keep an eye on it. Nvidia. Nvidia obviously gapped up today and nothing but selling so far, down 4.5%. So that is bearish to see, it's bearish price action. Even though we didn't gap down, and that didn't happen. I was looking for potentially that to happen. We did, we gapped up and then sold pretty aggressively very quickly in the morning. So as of right now, you can see we're below that former key level of about 128.50, and that means all these longs right here, and even some right there, going back to October of 2024, are now in losses. Now again, one key thing also to take note that I think is pretty bearish is the fact that the deep seek gap was right here. Okay, there's your deep seek gap. So Nvidia was trading along, and then all of a sudden it got punched in the mouth by DeepSeek, a competitor essentially, and a big gap down. But what happens is the institutions who are trapped there, they have enough money to kind of pump the stock back up in order to exit their positions, and I think that's for the most part what really happened. So you gap down, and then they ramp that thing right back up, right into the DeepSeek gap. All right, that was your gap fill, and then nothing but selling since, okay? And we are moving lower. So, Nvidia lower should mean the rest of the market lower, to be honest. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that, but moving on. Other kind of FANG stocks or Mag 7s, Meta, again, still within this wedge, so I do think we're going to break to the downside of that wedge. That doesn't look great. And Apple's the only one barely hanging in there, but it's not. It was started selling off yesterday, and today it's flat, so I guess it's showing relative strength. But this is not. This is just an inside candle. To me, it looks like just continued downside here on Apple. Okay, I'll throw out a trade. I did give the private member group this earlier, but I'll put this one out here. Chewy. All right, so Chewy, you've got a big bearish rising wedge, big negative divergence. All right, you have a break of the wedge, so there's your sell signal, and we got a back test. Perfect back test right there today. Objective short right on that back test, and that's where I took the position. Now this can back test for a while, so you don't want to just load up completely on the back test because it can continue to move higher and continue to back test. But if the rest of the market's selling off, this thing's not going to go too far. So the risk reward is great. And the measured part of the wedge, which is the widest part of the wedge, that's what this blue line is. I've got it marked about there. That's about your widest part. take that at the point of the breakdown, and that will give you your major target. And it's somewhere, I mean, this one has it all. Oh, let me make sure I grab the right tool. This one is somewhere all the way down here at about 23. That's the major target. There's also some support at 25.38. So again, I think it's a great, out of a 10, this is a 10. The only thing that would be better, I guess, would be a backtest making a new divergent high. But in general, this is good. And then, so I think we can start to work our way lower. Bounces along the way, of course, but ultimately heading down towards that major target over the coming weeks to months. We breaking down from support today, and it fell to the next level of support, which is about 487. But back below that $5, so that's not great, I would say. It does need to really does kind of need to hold. Could go all the way down to 470. I'm not in love with this chart as of right now with this breakdown today, so definitely want to put that out there. Still constructive in terms of a long trade, but it's just been kind of sucking wind, and it could continue to do that. So not in love with that one. The ag commodity inputs look a lot better. MOS. This one has earnings right after the bell. The bigger picture, not so much on the daily chart, but if you look at the weekly chart, you can see we've got a big leg up, then a big bullish falling wedge with bullish divergence. I've kind of marked out there. So bullish divergence on the weekly. And you have a breakout here and a back test. Been back testing really for about 4 weeks. And earnings is after the bell. So this is set up bullish. If it's going to rally off this as support, the catalyst is likely earnings. So it's an objective long, but of course, earnings is a little bit of a gamble. All right, it always is. So if for some reason they don't like what earnings says, then they're going to very likely gap this thing down here towards support down at 22. All right. So that's kind of the risk to the downside. I mean, I don't think it's going to fall all that much in just on the earnings, but it could, down 12% or so, 12% on earnings. That'd be a pretty big hit. Probability, given the bullish patterns and the bullish divergences, tells me it's going to gap up on earnings. They're going to like what earnings has to say, and the chart's set up to move to the upside after earnings. So take that if you like. Moving on. Oh, back to the triple Qs. We just closed the hourly candle, and you can see we got a definitive sell signal now on the triple Qs. So stock should head lower. Down we go. Selling should really, at a minimum, we should head down to the 500 area. And then, likely by tomorrow, I guess, maybe even by the end of today. And then we'll see where we're at. But yeah, should head lower. That's not looking good for stocks in general. Okay, well, in general, that's pretty much the most important stuff happening today around Nvidia and the tech sector. And there you go. There's a sell signal. So I'm going to get the video out. Catch you guys on the next one. Take